What's going on, everybody? It's FREEDO here for Your Overwatch, and I'm sure many of you will be delighted to be reminded that Season 5 is coming to an end. I think it's a good time to put it all behind us because Season 5 was marked with a lot of negativity. Although I kind of enjoyed a lot of the balance in Season 5. Maybe that's just because a lot of my favorite characters were very playable, but Season 5 will officially be ending on Monday, August 28th at 5 p.m. PDT, or the next day at midnight UTC. And after a very short delay, Season 6 will be going live August 31st at 5 p.m. PDT. As always, your Season 5 rewards will be as follows. If you complete your placements, you get a special spray. If you ended the season in top 500, remember that's something that they changed, you'll also receive an extra player icon and animated spray. And as always, based upon your highest rank, you will be getting the following competitive points used for the golden weapons. This only is going to apply now for Season 5, as this is one of the many things that they're changing for Season 6. So what exactly are they changing? Well, the season is going to be 2 months instead of 3. They originally tried 1 month back in the day, but it felt too short and brief. 3 months as well, though, felt a bit too long, as that last month felt like a bit of a drag. And what they're attempting to do is sort of have more occurrences of that new, fresh feel of jumping into a new season, new chance, new opportunity, and I think this fits about right. And with 2 months being the schedule, perhaps then they can more neatly adjust when the major meta shifts will be, because having them somewhat in between seasons, I think, kind of awkwardly puts a spanner into things. So with that being said, this next major content patch that's going to rework tons of heroes, I think should go live around the start of Season 5 ending, so that we're kind of prepared for it going into Season 6, and it's a kind of a breath of fresh air. Now, because there is less time in a season now, only 2 months instead of 3, instead of giving more value for that season in terms of competitive point rewards at the end of the season, so for instance, if you reach Grandmaster, you get 3,000 competitive points, enough for an entire gold weapon. Now you're going to get less. Now, they haven't said, as far as I know, how much you're exactly going to get, but it's going to roughly be the same, is what Jeff said. So over the course of an entire year of playing seasons, it won't be any different of a scale model to what they've already done in the past, but I assume that means the numbers aren't going to be as neatly divided as they are now for the current season, but hey, what are you going to do? Basically, this means there isn't a higher value to playing in the upcoming shorter seasons, making it feel like the grind of the old seasons, kind of a overinvestment of time. It's going to scale the same. DECAY's getting a little bit of a tweak, a bit of a nerf. It used to be 7 games in a week that you had to play, losing 50 SR a day if you do not meet that requirement. Now it's going down to 5 games a week and 25 skill rating decay. You might ask yourself why they have to have this at all. Jeff explains it that, especially at the high levels, there's some unwanted behavior if there is no decay, because players will just keep ranking up new accounts up to a big rank and then never play again, or play during times where perhaps a patch might allow them to do so, or times of day, or at the start of the season. Games are oftentimes a bit easier and a bit easier to get up to a high rank. A lot of ways to just abuse the system, really. So forcing you to somewhat have to play throughout the season is a good thing for that. Not so sure if it's a good thing for the entire player base, though, especially as you get match made based on MMR anyway, and the prestige of your total SR really only matters to players in like the top 500, I think. Hopefully one day they set a cap to this instead of this, but anyway, moving on. Control maps now will be best of 3 rather than best of 5. And I actually really like this change. The competitive scene has already moved over to best of 3, which means you need to get 2 points now in order to win a control map. It might feel a little bit awkward because that means you can 2-0 an opponent and never reach the 3rd map of a control stage, but all things considered, that feels a lot better than having some really long slog into 5 rounds of control just to narrowly lose it. Getting those games over faster will feel better, because then you can just hop into the next game if you get 2-0'd, or even go to the maximum 3rd map. It'll make them feel much more straightforward. Placements are going back to something much different now. In Seasons 4 and 5, they actually placed you a bit lower than where you should have based upon your previous season plus your placement performance, with the anticipation that that would give you a bit of reward to be able to like grind through the difference of those ranks. but that actually just more so felt like you were getting dragged back below where you would want to be, and doesn't really incentivize you as much as they thought. So instead now, with Season 6, your placements should be accurate to your skill rating, which I think is important because it allows for players to progress and improve over time. Because if you try to like knock a player somewhat back to where they were maybe like a month or two ago in terms of their development as a player, they all of a sudden have to then again at the end of this season jump over some more hurdles in order to get back to where they just were in the previous season not a week ago. Also, I think this is very important that they do. Otherwise, what could have happened if it was the original somewhat of a grind throughout the post-placement time of your ranked play, with the season only being 2 months instead of 3, you have less time to make that overall arc of play, and you might not even be capable of reaching where you had just reached. So, all things considered, it should feel more exciting and fresh to be able to sort of put a bookmark of where you were per each season, and you're excited for the next start because it doesn't feel like you're going back in progress. You can keep accumulating your improvement over time. I know this definitely happens to me where when I got placed a bit lower, I kind of grinded back to where I probably should be, and by the time I got there, there wasn't a whole lot of development time for me to really practice at the now newfound, slightly more difficult rank that I found myself at. And before you knew it, the season was kind of like on its end, and then players were already kind of sick of the season. So hopefully this new shorter season with more accurate placements can help everybody have a bit more of an enjoyable ride throughout the ranked matchmaking journey. And the last change that Jeff Kaplan explained was that there will be longer wait times for higher MMR players. This is pretty important because nobody really wants to get stomped, and those higher end players don't really want to stomp to get very little SR reward. They'd much rather wait much longer for a match that is a bit more even or rewarding. All things considered, it's a good thing for everybody involved, except for players who really hate long queue times, but this was something that Scott Mercer explained to Siegel in that interview they did that we covered earlier today. Sometimes when you're in these really long queue time situations, whether you're playing at like really early in the morning or whatever the case may be, if it caps you out at like a 5-minute queue time versus a 15-minute queue time, the result might not be as much improved as you might think, because a high-end player looking for other high-end players, well, if there's not really any other queuing, you could wait 30 minutes and probably still not get a very good match. So there's diminishing returns with the extension of this. There's no way to like pencil me in for a well-balanced match in an hour. Like, that's not really gonna happen. That can't really work in a dynamic matchmaking system. So unfortunately, they're always going to have to deal with those queue issues. But hopefully with all of these things put together, Season 6 can be a marked improvement over Season 5, which many players, I think, have a bad taste in their mouth about Season 5, and I think it's a good time that we wash that out with some nice, refreshing, accurate placement matches so that we all can improve and keep moving up the ranks and playing among our peers and have good matches, or at least the best that we can get. Are you excited for the Season 6 changes? Are you just excited that Season 5's already over? We can put it behind us. If you are, please leave a like on this video. It really does help us out and lets us know that you're enjoying the content. If you haven't already, please subscribe because we upload each and every day. So you're gonna wanna hit the bell icon so that you get notified when our videos go live. Link to the description, you can check out our Twitter and our Discord server where you can interact with our community and find the Jeff Kaplan main of your dreams. That's been it for me. I've been FREEDO for Your Overwatch. I'll see you guys next time.